So that's all about. So like I said earlier, our average propensity to save is savings divided by income. Our marginal propensity to save is the S, the Y, which is changes in savings divided by changes in income. Our changes in savings is year 2 savings minus year 1 savings divided by year 1 savings divided by year 2 income minus year 1 income divided by year 1 income. And that's how we got our answers. Now we go to the saving ratio. For saving ratio, it is the proportion of the income that is saved. We call it saving ratio because that is the proportion of our income that is saved, which we didn't spend. So we have what we call this saving. For this saving, this occurs when individuals in total we are spending an amount that was greater than their disposable income. A situation whereby an individual spends more than what its disposable income is, we call it this saving. And that's about that. Then what are the consequences of changes in saving ratio? We know we said saving ratio is the proportion of our income that is not spent. So what are the consequences of changing in saving ratio? That means we're talking about a fall in saving ratio or an increase in saving ratio. First, we are starting with an increase in saving ratio, which is same as a rise in saving ratio. A rise in saving ratio may reduce aggregate demand by reducing consumption. However, this might increase investment as household saving is the main source of funds to finance investment. So what I'm saying is this: when saving ratio increases within an economy, it means aggregate demand within the economy would fall. Consumption in that economy would fall. So what does that imply? It might also mean that investment will decrease because most of savings goes for investment funding. So firms will be able to have enough liquidity. Firms will be able to have a lot of money to get on credit because individuals have saved more in that economy. So a fall in consumption might also increase investment in the economy. Then we have a fall in saving ratio. For a fall in saving ratio, this means consumer spending would have increased. That means they rather spend their disposable income rather than saving it. That is what a fall in saving ratio means. So here I wrote, a fall in saving ratio means consumer spending is increasing as a proportion of the disposable income. This should raise the living standards and bring about economic growth. For a fall in saving ratio, when there's a fall in saving ratio, it means consumer spending is increasing. That means they spend more rather than they save. So the proportion of their disposable income starts increasing because they can spend more. As a result of that, aggregate demand within the economy would increase. And this increases the revenue for firms. And if revenue for firms increases, investment will increase in the economy. That will bring about economic growth. Aside the economic growth, because individuals can spend more, their standards of living would also raise. So these are the consequences of saving ratio, a change in saving ratio. A change in saving ratio could be a rise in saving ratio or a fall in saving ratio. A rise in saving ratio would reduce aggregate demand, while a fall in saving ratio will increase aggregate demand, which means consumer spending will increase. And if consumer spending increases, it will raise or it will improve the living standard and economic growth. But for a rise in saving ratio, if saving ratio increases, aggregate demand in the economy would fall. That means consumption would fall in the economy. But it could also mean that investment would also increase because savings are part of savings are part of sources of finance for investment. So that's the consequence about saving ratio. Thank you.